Doctor Who fans, and welcome to a Who Universe review here. As we're here, we're going to have a bit of a brief discussion about Doctor Who Unleashed, because of course Doctor Who Unleashed has just wrapped up its first season. I know it's been a couple of months since the end of that season, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to do some specials in the lead up to this year's Christmas special to at least keep the Doctor Who conversation going. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of reflect on Doctor Who Unleashed and how I feel about the show so far from its debut from the 60th anniversary all the way till now, and how I believe the show has catched on in some way since its arrival into the Whoniverse. So, without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe. There'll be links in the description to BBC iPlayer if you want to watch all of the previous Doctor Who episodes and Classic Who, etc., or any Whoniverse content. There'll be a link in the description. But obviously, Doctor Who Unleashed, there is a section on the Whoniverse for Doctor Who Unleashed if you want to see all the latest episodes from this behind-the-scenes show before we head into Christmas with a brand new episode that we can look forward to later this year. So, Doctor Who Unleashed. How do I feel about the what do I like about the show? The big question. Well, I honestly think Doctor Who Unleashed is I think it's done. I love the whole idea of the presenter doing work experience for the Doctor Who team. I love that whole concept because I mean it's also inspiring to a lot of people who are trying to, especially for those who are trying to get into the TV business and want to in television. This is essentially like a good opportunity to give you like a behind the scenes look of what the work is like for people who want to go into those areas of work. So I feel like that's kind of an inspiration moment where people might get inspired by some of the stuff he does in his work experience sections of the program, where he kind of experiences what the Doctor Who production team get up to during when preparing for the filming for the episodes of Doctor Who. So it's really nice that we get that section in there because it really inspires people to sort of take a look at what they've been working on. But yeah, so I like that concept of Doctor Who Unleashed. I thought that was clever. I also love the fact that they do get a chance to speak to Russell T Davies, Ncuti Gatwa, and Billy Gibson, as well as David Tennant, Catherine Tate, etc. Obviously, that's something that's carried over from Doctor Who Confidential because they did that a lot. They always interviewed Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat. They always interviewed them when they were the showrunners and talk about how they feel, what was their initial thoughts when they first saw the scripts for each of the episodes. I thought, and by the way, you can watch Doctor Who Confidential on the Whoniverse as well if you want to relive how they used to do the behind the scenes stuff compared to now, which is obviously a little bit different. Some inspirations have been carried over, but they've mixed it up a little bit to make it sort of more modernized a bit, if to that like the nowadays pretty much, which is what they've done with it. And also, it's really interesting because they also gave us an opportunity to see some stuff in the future as well in Doctor Who Unleashed, especially in the Doom Doctor Who Unleashed. They chatted to obviously one of the female actresses who came into the episode, who's going to become the future companion. I forgot her name, but yes. So they actually spoke to her from earlier this year, and they had the chance to feature that in that episode. So it gave people the chance to see what she's like as a human being, for those who want to get invested into her as an actress before she takes over as a companion, which I think is really nice they did that, because it kind of gets people to sort of think about her as a companion for Doctor Who, because I mean it's not going to be long until she takes over, because she's going to be featured in next year's series. So we know that that's something to look forward to in 2025, that she'll be one of essentially the new companion, joining Billy Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa next year. So that's going to be a really cool experience to finally see her with the Doctor now, which is going to be great. But obviously she's going to be playing a different character compared to the one she plays obviously in Boom. So yes, so that was really cool that we got to chat with her. And then also they seem to have done a lot of time traveling within the program, because you'll notice that some of the footage they've taken was taken from 2022, which is very crazy to think about, isn't it? Or in fact 2013. So some of the stuff they filmed was actually from the end of 2013 when they started filming shooting Gatwa's first series, pretty much, which is some of that footage that they've kept until 2024. So they've kept it pretty much a good few months before they finally showed it off to everyone, which is crazy. And even some of the footages that they've taken were actually even taken from pretty early on as well, from early on of 2013 when they were looking for locations for season 1, which is crazy. That they got to show some of that footage that they filmed during the course of last year, brought forward into Doctor Unleashed for this year, was related to the previous series, which is clever. And also the fact that we also got to see previews of the upcoming episode, which is what obviously Doctor Who Confidential, they didn't really do it as much compared to Doctor Unleashed. You'll notice that Doctor Who Confidential, they really show much about the future episodes. They kept very quiet about to expect in the episode, because you had basically just watch the regular show of Doctor Who in order to see the trailers, because Doctor Who Confidential was just focusing on Pacific episode, and then you won't see any coming soon trailers for like behind the scenes for next week's episode until the very night, basically. Doctor Who Unleashed, I believe, is probably the first behind the scenes show to actually show you a preview of the upcoming episode, which is show you an actual from that next story, so you basically get to see what they were working on for the episode, even though, yeah, it was really clever that they showed a little sneak peek of each episode during the series, and even during the 60th anniversary, they did the same thing as well, which I thought was really clever. So that was really cool that they brought that element into the Doctor release, so at least it gave you a little taste of what the future episodes would look like in case you're invested to want to check it out, which I think is really smart of them to do that. And then, then they even went out of their way to do a whole unseen episode during the series finale night when they did 2 episodes. They showed the behind the scenes for Empire of Death, and they also showed an unseen special, which showed some of the unseen stuff that they captured that they didn't feature in the actual episode, behind the scenes for the episodes. I thought that was really smart of them to show all the footage they didn't show part of the unseen section of Doctor Who Unleashed, which was really, really smart of them that they did that. And that was a surprise episode as well. They kept that very quiet until the very end of the series to finally show that, which was really smart of them to go out of their way to show some unseen footage they thought that the fans would love to see, which I think was really smart of them to do that. Hopefully they'll do that again next year, fingers crossed. But yeah, and then of course you got the Christmas special. Well, the Christmas special, they kind of just, obviously they're going to focus on the Christmas special, but they did show a little bit of the new series in the Christmas special. So they were pretty much the first, considering BBC did show a trailer following the Christmas special, the Church on Ruby Road, Doctor Unleashed did show like a full clip, a couple of minutes clip from the first episode, which was Space Babies. We thought it was something else. Yeah, it's basically called the Space Babies. We didn't even know this until later, but yeah, it's really, really cool. We got to see like the first couple of minutes of Space Babies when the Doctor first met the Bogeyman, which was really cool. They showed that clip off at the end, the Doctor Unleashed Christmas special, which gave us a little taste of what was to come later this year, or during this year, which was really clever. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I like about Doctor Unleashed. I did see the Doctor Unleashed, episodes. I saw the 73-yard one where they explained what the sign language was from the woman. And interestingly, they mentioned it was basically she was just saying thank you to Ruby, which was a bit bizarre, isn't it? To think, here's this woman creeping Ruby out, and yet all she's just saying is just thank you in sign language. I know, it sounds crazy, but there you go. And also, like, it was very bizarre why she did the whole sign language for thank you, and yeah, Ruby was freaked out because she only appears 73 yards away from her, which, that's the creepy element of the story. Yeah, I thought it was really smart. And they also, also saw a little bit of the Rogue behind the scenes as well, and a little bit of the Legend of Ruby Sunday, where we got the reveal of Sutekh, the Destroyer. Sutekh, we all love Sutekh, and obviously it was really cool. They actually showed a clip of the voice actor from the Pyramids of Mars for the episode to give you a sort of a taste of his voice back in the 70s, which was really smart of them to go back into the archives and show like the first appearance of Sutekh from Pyramids of Mars that led to the voice actor's return for this series, even though he did voice the Beast for the David Tennant episode, The Impossible Planet, Satan's Pit, if you didn't know that already. Yeah, so it's really very informational is kind of the way I describe Doctor Unleashed, really. They've done very good to sort of give you an inside bird's eye view of how Doctor Who works in terms of filming process of the show, and gives you the sort of the taste of how it all comes together pretty much is kind of basically what you really need to know, really, about how it all works. And if you're very curious about how each episode is made. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen all the episodes, definitely check them out. It gives you a little bit of a bird's eye view as to how Doctor Who is created bit by bit, that creates the episodes that we know and we love, even some of the new episodes that we're looking forward to today. And then, of course, we're going to see some more behind the scenes with this year's Christmas special when Doctor Unleashed goes behind the scenes of Stephen Moffat's Christmas special episode for Christmas that will be coming later this year. So we'll have that to look forward to at Christmas for those who want to see Doctor Unleashed go behind the scenes of this year's special. But yeah, but until then, I mean, you can check out all the previous Doctor Unleashed, and the Whodiverse links are in the description if you want to check those out. Definitely recommend to do so. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this basically this discussion to share my thoughts on Doctor Unleashed so far. And of course, in terms of like upcoming discussion and review videos we're going to do, we're going to try and review the Underwater Menace animation. I want to try and review the animation of the Celestial Toymaker before the end of the year. I also would like, and then at some point I want to revisit the TV movie, and also hopefully we're going to do like a discussion and review of this year's Doctor Who proms, BBC proms, which will be airing BBC Two later this year. So we'll have that to review soon, and then obviously we'll have the review of this year's Christmas special during Christmas. So that'll be something to look forward to as we get to December and we get to Christmas. And then hopefully we're going to have a chance to sort of back at have a chance to celebrate Stephen Moffat's time as a writer for Doctor Who, considering it very well be Stephen Moffat's farewell Christmas. So for me, an opportunity to sort of celebrate Stephen Moffat's successes in Doctor Who and a chance to back at some of his stories that he's done for Doctor Who, and sort of have a chance to just celebrate his work in Doctor Who. Those who might be fascinated in some of the other Stephen Moffat stories that have been written for Doctor Who, if he is indeed saying goodbye to Doctor Who this year, then this will be a great chance to say thank you to Stephen Moffat for all the memories he's given us as Doctor Who fans. And then yeah, there'll be an opportunity also to hopefully we'll have a chance to also discuss the latest Doctor Who news, if any other classic Doctor Who's are getting animated for a release next year or heading into 2025. I'll be interested to definitely cover the news about that, and even especially Doctor Who's involvement for Children in Need this year. We're pretty sure there'll be news about that very soon, considering Children in Need's appeal is going to be fastly approaching. So yeah, we're going to definitely have a bit of Doctor Who news to cover leading up to this year's Christmas special, and also all the promotion for this year's special itself, which I'm sure we're going to have lots of conversations about what we can expect from this year's Doctor Who Christmas special, as well as obviously the times and dates, etc., for when you'll be able to check it out on the telly. And also Doctor Who Magazine's coverage of this year's special will be coming up soon as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next special soon. See you then.